Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my live. Welcome to A Safe Space with Dr. Lillie. Our topic tonight will be trauma. We will discuss only trauma, and we're gonna discuss the Nolan Wells unaliving and how the Black community is being traumatized daily in America. That is what the topic is about this evening. Trauma. Hit that like button as you all are coming in, please. Again, welcome to A Safe Space with Dr. Lillie. Hello, Reverend Dr. JC. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for always supporting me. It means a lot. The topic today is about trauma. We're going to discuss current events that are going on. The Nolan Wells. The Black community is being targeted here in America. That's trauma. Trauma on the Black community. That's what we're discussing tonight. Much love and respect to you as well. So I'm going to read something to you right quick, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm even going to give you all a couple of Bible verses. I'm going to read them to you. You can jot them down, and then you can go back and read them for yourself and fall in love with the Bible verses like I did, okay? So I'm going to read to you this. Breaking away from trauma is incredibly difficult because it changes how the brain functions, shifting you into a constant state of survival. It alters your neurobiology by keeping the fear center hyperactive while disrupting the rational brain, making it nearly impossible to simply get over the experience. As a member of the Black community, we are told repeatedly to get over it, to get over your trauma, get over the trauma of slavery, etc., etc. Get over our people being hung in trees even to this day. The Jim Crow continues to happen. So I'm going to read to you some Bible verses. Joshua 1, 5, and 6. Verse 5, no one will be able to stand against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsaken you. Number 6, be strong and courageous, because you will lead those people to inherit the land I swore to their ancestors to give them. We all know the trauma that our ancestors went through. The trauma of slavery. What are we discussing today? Our subject matter is trauma. Trauma that we're living in today as well. Present today. Joshua 1 and 9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. I pray that Nolan Wells' soul goes to heaven. Again, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Traumatic grief. For the Black community, we are experiencing traumatic grief. Black people are targets in this country. Nolan Wells' family are experiencing traumatic grief. Imagine you going through trauma and you're grieving at the same time of your loss. The entire Black community is grieving. We have been traumatized in this country by other races in the government, while we are being traumatized daily. Hey there, dear, how you doing? Zerf 145. By this government and other races. It is hard to get over what y'all keep saying, get over. Get over slavery. No, we're still traumatized by slavery as well. So I'm going to let you listen to something. This young man makes plenty of sense. Take heed to what he's saying so we can unify this country, because we've been divided by a rotten orange that lives on Pennsylvania Avenue. Hit that like button for me, please. Today's topic is trauma. Welcome to A Safe Space with Dr. Lillie. Take a listen to this audio. Hold on. I'm going to start it over.
Communal trauma, y'all. Let's name it. It's a shared psychological.
I'm gonna start it over because I want y'all to hear what he's saying.
Communal trauma, y'all. Let's name it. It's a shared psychological and emotional wound experienced by an entire group of people, not just isolated individuals. It occurs when a catastrophic event shatters the core identity, the safety, the security, the social fabric of a community that our community knows so much, so too well. I really want to name it for us, y'all. There is a certain level of racial terror that we felt in our guts and our stomachs when we seen this image or when we heard about the story. That is the communal trauma that we all experiencing. I see it all down my timeline. It's very intergenerational and it's cross-regional. I'm seeing whether you from California, whether you in Virginia, whether you in Texas, whether you in Mississippi, you've seen this story before. As a matter of fact, it's been embedded in your DNA damn near. Being re-triggered by racial trauma forces our community to go back and revisit wounds and scabs that ain't even healed yet. Because we'll never forget about the story of Tamla Horsford in Georgia in 2018. Seeing these images remind me of what Afro-pessimists call social death, talking about how Black people are rendered in a subjectivity as non-human, making it where gratuitous violence, that means violence just because, unwarranted, is always seen as being rational with our body. So we experience a level of social death. It's showing you whether you're a state actor or a citizen vigilant, if you do something that concludes in Black death or Black suffering, it can be justified. It can be rationalized. It does not give us the equal protection of the law, does it? I seen this clip right here, and it pissed me off rolling. These are Nolan Wells' friends that didn't remember anything, but they remembered to deactivate every single social media account that they have. Them, his girlfriend, their parents, all the accounts deactivated and wiped clean. All of them. Jax, Eric, Wyatt, Warren, Morgan, jail for everyone. Because they're already circling the wagons. They're already lawyered up. But wait, their parents are doctors, lawyers, and judges. This is the father of one of his friends. And this is the stepmama, Ashley Cole, court judge for Jackson, George, and Greene counties in the beautiful state of Mississippi, has already deactivated her account. Deactivated all the accounts, and they have all unfollowed Nolan. The ripple effect. The trauma ain't limited to direct victims, man. It spreads through families, through neighborhoods, through timelines, through group chats, all that. We all feel it. Nolan Wells was 18. He went to Horn Island with with a big group of his friends on July 4th, the 250th anniversary of this country. And we see right now how the law and the institution is going to respond to the death of that Black body. As a matter of fact, it's so poetic. When I understood and learned that Chris McAdams, the first casualty of the American Revolution, was a Black body, and I seen how we still have no values in Black bodies, it made me think about Afro-pessimism, how our very existence is rendered as socially dead. Communal trauma stems from large-scale shared events or systemic issues that threaten the entire existence of a group's survival or a way of life. We know that well too well. Way too well. I'm getting flustered. Tyron Johnson was a 20-year-old father that was shot twice in the chest by National Guard soldiers occupying Memphis. This man was steps away from a street named Ida B. Wells, a woman who dedicated her entire life to documenting what? Communal trauma and racial terror. A U.S. citizen being taken out by his own military personnel funded by his tax dollars on American soil is something that we know too well. The civil society that we live in hands out Black suffering like Oprah hand out cars. And you get Black death, and you get Black death. Whether you have a badge or you don't have a badge, if you accidentally lead to somebody looking like me, being hurt or being underwater or being shot or being pushed off a balcony, you might find some way to justify what you did because accidents happen. Some scholars write extensively about communal trauma and how it's triggered by racial terror. We always talk about how trauma can be intergenerational and passed down from generation to generation to generation. Perhaps being a racial terrorist can too. Perhaps being a colonizer can too. Yep. Epigenetics suggests that experiences like trauma, diet, and stress can alter how our genes behave and potentially can be passed down to future generations. We always talk about the trauma and the pain, but what about the violence and the terror? What if perhaps epigenetics also can show how individuals can pass down the genetics of being a demonic monster? You see what I'm saying? When we see these images or we hear these stories, we embody and we internalize that identity threat. It attacks the group of who it is, our sense of self, our ontological positions, making it where we feel threats to our very existence. I'm talking about you don't even feel it in your stomach, you feel it in your back, you feel it everywhere. It's why our community sometimes walk around so heavy. because the entire world be after us one way or another. And then they'll say, hey, stop being a victim. At the same time, they figured out how to mobilize their makeshift myths of being victimized. And that's on Make It Great Again. But I'm going to keep on going with it. Dr. C.D. Harmon wrote Scenes of Subjection to show us that terror is not just in these spectacle events that we all rush to and we say, look at that. You feel me? It's not just the lynchings at the spectacle, but the racial terror is embedded in the social fabric of the everyday lives that we navigate. When it comes to the routine traffic stop or the gas station run or the boat trip or the family holiday, whether we're talking about an agent of the state or we're talking about a citizen, Black death and gratuitous violence is something that we always get. Our community is experiencing a collective mourning right now. We have to name what we're experiencing in order for us to really deal with it, man. Education is elevation. If you want to read my essay on this collective trauma that I'm talking about, follow me on Substack. Communal trauma, y'all.
Communal trauma is real. That is from Conscious Lee. Communal trauma is real. The Black community is being traumatized daily by America. Trauma grief is real. Even Caucasian people are grieving the loss of Nolan Wales. The ones that are not racist, they're grieving them. They're posting on their social media pages too about the injustice that continue to happen, the traumatization of Black people. Black people are targets and looked at as objects by other races. So we are traumatized daily in America. We are traumatized daily because the government ran by the rotten orange continues to say it is okay to traumatize Black Americans. He traumatizes Black Americans. He wanted to get rid of all of Black history. You come from an African. Everybody come from Africa. A Black woman. Take it back to slavery, good Dr. Lillie. The Black slaves breastfed your ancestors. Our DNA is in you. But you hate Black people so much. And you don't mind traumatizing Black people daily. All we want to do is love on you. Because the word of God says what? Love your neighbor. You can't get to heaven hating. But as I said earlier on my other live, I realized something. And I said this before. Apparently, we don't serve the same God. And we got to stop pretending to ourselves that we serve the same God. No, we don't. There's no way possible. Because God wouldn't have had his children put into slavery. Nolan Wales should be here today. But because he was the only Black person in that friend circle, everybody else Caucasian, he didn't make it back home to his mama. But you want to know what made it back to his mama? His cell phone from the Caucasian kids. All the Caucasian kids that went to the island got to go back home to their mama and dad. And the stepmama, that's who's a what? A judge. And what is happening right now? They are covering up for their children's sins, crimes. In my opinion, I believe it was homicide. Although the white law is trying their best to set a narrative that it was not homicide. Traumatization in America. Black Americans are traumatized daily in this country. And do not say get over it. As it's stated here, I'm going to read it to you again. It alters your neurobiology by keeping fear center hyperactive while disrupting this rational brain, making it nearly impossible to simply get over the experience. There's no more we shall overcome. Yes, God said, come to me, all ye that are heavy burdened. And we repeatedly go back to God daily praying that these other races stop hating us, stop targeting my community, stop traumatizing Black community, from putting our people up in trees and lying, saying that we have committed suicide. Y'all know what I mean. I can't say the word on YouTube. Black people don't commit suicide in a tree hanging. No, we don't want to be ornaments to our oppressors. We are not Christmas tree ornaments to our oppressors. In America, Blacks are traumatized daily. What is our subject matter today? Trauma. If your trauma involves a bond with an abuser, the colonizers, the cycle of cruelty followed by affection creates intimate reinforcement. This releases dopamine and adrenaline, creating a chemical dependency and addiction to the abusers. That Black kid, being the only Black kid, should not have ever went to that island, that deserted island, with only Caucasian kids. Addiction to the abuser. The colonizers, those children, were they practicing a ritual? Inquiring minds want to know. I'm quite sure that Colin whales went into fight or flight mode, because that's the normal instinct for the nervous system to do, go into survival mode. But therefore, Nolan Wales didn't succeed. He was unalived, in my opinion, and you can't make me see different. Every day I see on my timeline Black Americans being targeted and traumatized because of their color. Trauma is a disruption to the body's mind capacity to adapt, thrive, and flourish. Y'all say get over it. How can we adapt, thrive, and flourish? By choice, I decide to. By choice, because of the love of God, I decide to adapt, thrive, and flourish. I am here to help you adapt, thrive, and flourish. But how can a community adapt, thrive, and flourish when the white race continue to do what? Unalive us. And the white law protects them and lie. The laws were made for white people to go against Black people. That is my opinion, and I stand in it. The thing with trauma, once it's over your body, it continues to relive it. We're not given a chance to overcome the trauma that white Americans are putting upon the Black community. So we relive it daily. And then there's new trauma on top of that. From the Black girl in Florida being hung in a tree and lied that she unalived herself, the white law lied. From the Black man, the truck driver in North Carolina, in a tree. We do not make ourselves Christmas tree ornaments. That's not what Black people do. We do not submit ourselves to our oppressors and the colonizers. We don't want to be Christmas ornaments hanging in a tree. How y'all doing this evening? I want y'all to listen to something about trauma, okay? Just a moment. Listen carefully, because it explains a lot that is happening in this current condition in this country of the Black community being traumatized by the American people, by America, by our government. The vast majority of the Republican Party is what? Caucasian. What are they doing? Trying to destroy anything that has to do with Black Americans. Take a listen to trauma.
In the comments. Can't help. Please contact a licensed
Hold on.
help.
Hold on, I'm going to start it over. This is about trauma from Psych Hub. Listen carefully. What is trauma?
Did you know About 70% of people around the world will experience at least one traumatic event in their lifetime. Trauma is a threatening event or a series of events that is emotionally or physically harmful, which may include violence, abuse, neglect, natural disasters, or losing a loved one due to a traumatic event. Trauma can be experienced directly or indirectly by a person, such as directly by working as a police officer, or indirectly, such as working as a therapist and hearing about the traumatic experiences of others. Major factors that contribute to an individual's response to trauma include culture, one's values, beliefs, and a way of seeing the world, social support system, if they have people in their lives who are truly supportive or not, and
Hello,
one's developmental
CR,
stage, or where they
CGR.
are in
How
the
you doing this
lifespan.
evening?
For example,
Thank
being
you
a
for coming to
teenager
my
or
live.
an
I
adult.
appreciate you. Thank you,
Some
Layla.
common reactions to trauma can include feelings of fear, anxiety, humiliation, guilt, shame, or betrayal. People may ask questions such as, why me? How other people respond to a person's trauma can also impact how a person experiences their trauma. For example, some people may not feel heard or understood by others, or others may downplay the importance, severity, and seriousness of their experience. This can be very hurtful and invalidating. A person can also develop more severe signs and symptoms of a trauma-related disorder, such as post-traumatic stress disorder or acute stress disorder. Some signs of a trauma-related disorder can include frequently feeling nervous, physical symptoms like stomach upsetting thoughts, hypervigilance, which is constantly feeling on edge, and if one is in danger, so one needs to be constantly on alert for threats. These symptoms can worsen with thoughts and reminders of the traumatic event. Therefore, people may try to avoid anything that reminds them of the event, but those symptoms can also be triggered for no external reason at all.
Discussion is about
Trauma in
trauma.
childhood can have long-lasting effects. In the CDC Kaiser ACE study, early childhood trauma showed a long-term and a negative impact on physical health and the likelihood of developing mental health and substance use disorders, and at a higher risk of suicide. This study also showed that trauma can impact future job and education performance. Some specific factors that can help with trauma recovery include social support that focuses on forming strong emotional bonds and a sense of belonging and connectedness to others, therapy and other specialized treatment services that focus on trauma-related disorders, trauma-informed organizations, for example, schools and workplaces, ensuring access to basic needs and resources, such as food, education, healthcare, and housing. If you or a loved one may be experiencing symptoms of trauma-related disorder, treatment.
They gave you different scenarios of trauma. And they broke down what is trauma about. And it is about a lot that I already discussed in this live. It still relates back to Nolan Wells, an 18-year-old black kid, only black kid, went on that trip to that island. All the white kids returned home. Nolan Wells did not return home. I can imagine the trauma that he's experienced. Whatever happened to him, the unaliving of him, his body was found washed up in the ocean, where the lake or whatever it was, shore. He was found. But the white kids brought his phone home to his mama. That traumatized the H-E-L-L out of his mama. That family is traumatized beyond anything that can happen. Losing your child, that kind of traumatization, there's no coming back from that. You'll hold on to God's word, but you're so in so much grief of your loss of your child. That family is traumatized beyond anything that we can imagine. Trauma is real. If trauma involves a bond with an abuser, the cycle of cruelty followed by affection creates intimate reinforcement. This release of dopamine and adrenaline, creating a chemical in addiction to the abuser. Your nervous system defaults fight or flight, freeze or fawn responses, making it terrifying to leave familiar, chaotic environments for the unknown. It is psychologically confusing to reconcile that a source of pain is also the person or even that provided the relief or attachment. Nolan Wells thought he was safe amongst his Caucasian friends. Therefore, he would not have went to the island with them if he didn't think there was some safety there. Trauma doesn't just reside in the mind. Your body remembers it. Unresolved trauma often manifests physically as chronic tension, sleep issues, or heightened cortisol levels. Healing for trauma is highly individual, non-linear process that focuses on managing symptoms, regaining a sense of safety. I guarantee you, Nolan Wells did not feel any sense of safety. He was being traumatized by Caucasian children. And processing painful memories. While you cannot change the past, we cannot change what happened to Nolan Wells, but we're going to stand on business with him and with his parents. Evidence-based therapies, self-regulation techniques, and constant self-care can help you move forward. We're going to move forward. We're going to stand on business and make sure there is justice for Nolan Wells. Trauma often leaves the nervous system stuck in fight or flight mode. That's survival mode. Grounding yourself in present moment helps calm your mind and body. Nolan Wells' family is not calm. But those white parents, they remaining calm. That child made it back. Every white child came back except that one black child who was traumatized by his Caucasian friends. Trauma is not just emotional experience. They trigger profound physical responses throughout your entire body. The brain interprets intense loss as a survival threat, which activates fight or flight mechanism and causes a flood of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Trauma is a disruption to the body and mind's capacity to adapt, thrive, and flourish. Because of those young men, Nolan Wells would no longer be able to adapt, thrive, and flourish. He was flourishing. He had a promising career coming after he graduated from college to be in the NFL. Where's that jealousy? They weren't as great in the football sport as young Nolan Wells. He was a star from his high school. The thing with trauma, once it's over, your body continues to relive it. Black Americans, we continue to relive trauma that has been put on us by our Caucasian loved ones that God put us here to love, which they don't want to love us back. Very few do.